I was only Indian or maybe only foreigner outside because I was invited on behalf of one of the institutions which sponsored me. The whole dialogue's discussion was on politics, though they were all scientists. The importance of politics cannot be ignored in our life. Politics doesn't mean what the politics that you see in TV discussion, no. The politics has to do with the whole narrative of a country, how you make a narrative for doing certain things. The decision making process, the strategies that are designed, which was very important for a nation to progress. The question there which was discussed at that time that they had decided to shelve the space shuttle program. Space shuttle program had two failures in its history of 170 odd flights. And they decided to shelve the space shuttle program even when it was continuing to be successful. And there was no alternative space shuttle at that point in time. NASA decided to do that. Why they decided is that they wanted to allow private companies to develop human spaceflight capabilities in USA. And they realized that if you continue space shuttle, it becomes a prohibitively a deterrent for anybody to develop a new alternate solution to it. So it's a political decision. No, it's a technological decision. Because technologically, when you look at it, it's one of the very, very capable rocket like a space shuttle. It's capable of sending human beings. It can go out and do repairs and build space station. It can do many missions and very strategic capability. And when America decided to shelve space shuttle program, the only human space flight capability available was with Russia. And USA decided that we will go with Russia, but still we shelve space shuttle. It's a very important political decision. It is very difficult for any decision maker in the government to make a decision like that. You have to understand. So, a political decision, a political and technocratic decisions are very much interlinked. And it's very important and the message that during that course was that you may be a great scientist, and if you do not understand the politics, you cannot be successful. That was the message. So, this is very important for a decision maker. For me also as a secretary of department space, I need to understand the pulse of the government, the pulse of the students, pulse of the common public on how we put a proper narrative for anything that I am speaking today. It is not a technological decision alone. It is a decision that affects the whole country. There is money involved, there are pride involved, there are motivation involved, there is inspiration involved. Everything has this element of it. So you need to be cautious about it. While you are a political student, a science student, you need to be aware of technology, impact of political decisions. And as a technocrat, I must be aware of the political impact of a technological intervention. Thank you.
Thank you for this brilliant exposition. Our theme, as it shows, was the 2047 vision of ISRO. Now, going by what we see and hear as laypersons, can we say that in a large number of areas, India's space sciences status is quite close to being a developed nation, despite the lag that you said in terms of payload tonnage and $1 trillion and stuff. But in most of the areas, you have achieved many firsts and bests. So can we say that we are close to being a developed space nation? Number one. And one more question that, like recently we read that the propulsion module came back to the Earth station. And that was kind of a target plus achievement. It was not initially targeted. Similarly, that lander hopping and jumping and then doing it again. So many things were beyond the originally stated targets. So is that, was it like you knew that it was going to be a success, so the rest of the world was waiting with bated breath, and it was one of the most exciting days that we've seen. Now, was it the redundancy part of the design, or was it because of exceptional efficiency that you achieved while you were at it? Thank you.
Thank you. On your first question on the technological maturity of India compared to other nations, I must say that we are almost on par in terms of the capacity to develop systems for rocket, satellite, or applications. I think we are no way inferior in any manner to the type of devices, instruments that go in space. Of course, we have certain limitations. The limitations are also understood. Why we say this, make this statement, we are on par and we are the top of the world, etc. The issues are in electronics. Ultimately, when you work on space, everything is based on electronic skill sets, no? Devices, computational support systems. We still do not have in India. We are importing it from US and Europe. And using that, we are building all the capacity for computational capabilities, sensors, and various other systems. Every FPGA, some of you may be knowing FPGA, the field programmable arrays, which are an essential part of programming inside a computer system, or processors. Processors, at least we have one or two in India. But most of the complex processors that fly in satellites comes from outside. Memories, detectors. If you want to take an image, the picture, the camera has got a detector inside. In any of your camera, your mobile phones, all of this camera, where the detector comes? Is it made in India? Not made in India. So we have an acute shortage of electronics, high-end production in India, which is actually affecting us. I think this has been well understood today by the government. They are taking a lot of actions to bring in new investment, new capacity.